A very similar concept to bills of exchange is the concept of promissory note. Now, what is a promissory note? As per Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, a promissory note is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Now students, let us consider and catch certain important points of this definition. That is, it is an instrument in writing. Just like bill of exchange is in writing, a promissory note is also in writing, containing an unconditional undertaking. Now this is where it is different. In a bill of exchange, it was an unconditional order. That is, the maker was making an order. But here, unconditional undertaking implies that it is more of a promise signed by the maker, so it has to be duly signed, to pay a certain sum of money. Certain sum of money means, again, the sum of money is fixed, to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. That is, the person to whom we are ordering or the one who is the bearer of the instrument, the one who is carrying that particular instrument. So according to this definition, promissory note is a promise. It contains a promise, and promise by a creditor to pay off his debt. So now students, let us understand certain features of promissory note. What are the features of a promissory note? More or less the features are same as bills of exchange. So first of all being, it should be in writing. That is, just like a bill of exchange, promissory note should be in writing. Then it must be signed by the maker. Then it contains a promise to pay. That means the maker is promising that he will pay a certain sum of money, which brings us to its next feature, that is certain sum of money. That means the amount is fixed. Then certain date and place. So both are fixed, that is on which date the payment would be made and where it would be made. So students, promissory note is a promise by a person to pay off his debt on a particular date at a particular place. Coming to parties to a promissory note. So that is parties to a promissory note. Basically, there are just two parties involved, and these two parties are, the one is the maker of the bill. In this case, that is in case of a promissory note, the maker is the one who has to pay. Since he is making a promise, so he is the one who has to pay. So in this case, maker is the one who has to pay. He is in fact creditor on account of a particular transaction. Then the second party is the receiver. That is the person who is supposed to receive payment on account of this promise. So he is supposed to receive payment. So in this particular transaction, he is the one who is a debtor. Remember, in this case, it is almost impossible, rather it is impossible for the maker to be the payee. Since the maker has to make the payment, he cannot be the payee of the bill. So payee would necessarily be a receiver only. Unlike a bill of exchange where the bill is drawn by the person who has to receive the payment. So in that case, there is quite a possibility that he can be a receiver. But in this case, the receiver would never be the payee. Or we can say that the payment would never be received by the maker, it would always be received by the receiver.